Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is tip 313, and I'm calling it Take Control. And I'm trying to get these lives a little bit earlier in the morning since we're going to be heading back into the office. I want to make sure I don't fall off of doing these. Just as a reminder, I've been grabbing pointers out of a book, Awaken the Giant Within, from Tony Robbins. And I ran across a section where he was talking about how to improve your life, and he gave 7 tips. And the seven tips were: number 1, control your emotions or your mood, how you feel, being happy, joyful, sad, worried, or being hired, love, excitement, exhilaration, anything that feels good. And that was something I talked about a couple days ago. Then the second thing he talked about was healthy habits, just meaning that being happy and being joyful and moving forward is easier when we're fueling our body better. I know that's something we all know, but he was pointing out all the benefits of it, that when you feel good, it's easier to make better decisions and it's easier to keep moving forward and supporting your journey. Number 3 was relationships. He was talking about determining and recognizing that everyone has different needs in relationships. And for those people that are important to you, knowing their hard, fast rules of what is yes and no is an important thing, because we all have different rules. And probably the biggest thing that causes conflict in everyone's life is that we assume that everybody has the same rules, and they don't. And sometimes we just have to understand and accept somebody as they are and stop trying to make them be what we think should be their rules, because we've all been groomed in a different environment. Well, hi, Miss Mary. Good to see you. So we've all been groomed in a different environment, and we want to make sure that we're recognizing that we all have different rules we live by and accept them and stop trying to change everyone's rules, because they're inbred for a different reason. So learning if somebody's important to you, what their internal, rigid, unchangeable rules are, will just help you so much. Then the next thing they talked about were finances. And again, there's a lot of emotions and feelings behind finances, like Tony Robbins said. But you've got to kind of remember that thinking that money is the root of all evil is going to make money a very difficult thing for you. You just want to think about ways to do better. You know, I've heard Doc V and Chris Nagel both say that what we have to remember is that money doesn't change a person, but money amplifies who they are. So if somebody has a lot of money, you'll either see them being more as a person of giving, or you're going to see them more as a person of maybe someone you don't want to be friends with. And that's not that their nature has changed, it's just that money has allowed it to amplify. So we all want to find an area so that we can be comfortable in our lives. Today is, are you controlling or are you being controlled? And there were a bunch of great optimistic outlooks, and I'll talk about that more in a couple minutes. Number 6, which I'll talk about tomorrow, is time management and what Tony Robbins thinks about that. And then number 7, a favorite one for everybody, will be rest and play. So today I decided that the greatest gift I've given myself during this time of COVID is that I've been learning. I've made sure that I fought not to be a person that gained weight, and I fought to be a person that's actually educated during this past couple of years. And the very first thing I had to learn to do was to learn to truly be optimistic to myself personally. I was very optimistic, very hopeful, very encouraging to everybody, but I didn't understand that it had to start with me. So I did a lot of work with positive statements, affirmation, gratitude, journaling, thinking in a way that supports moving forward, because we all know our mind has all kinds of tools behind it, but if we're not thinking in a way to move forward, what ends up happening is we get stalled, and we end up, if the back of our mind, that subconscious part that we don't know about, if we focus so much on negative, that's kind of where it's working. So we want to keep reinforcing positive thoughts so that our little subconscious monkey in the back, is helping us instead of pushing us in the wrong direction. It's almost that internal conflict everyone talks about. We've got to put so much positive in that this little guy back here doesn't get confused and say, oh, she likes that struggle and that conflict. We want to be positive and move forward. So these are some sections that I pulled right out of the Tony Robbins Awaken the Giant Within, and he calls this the Optimist's Creed. And I just thought some of these were really good things to think about, and I might put them on a card just for help me feel good moments. He says the Optimist's creed is that you must promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. I think that's a great one. Then the next one he said is the Optimist's creed is to talk health, happiness, prosperity to every person you meet in a very positive, uplifting, encouraging way. The next one in the Optimist's creed is to make all your friends feel that there is something of value in them. And I truly believe there is something of value in everyone. The next one is the Optimist's creed is to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. My grandmother used to really try to work on this with grandkids. She'd put a glass of water on the table and she'd say, how much water is in that glass? And what she was trying to see is, would you say, is it half full or is it half empty? But what I realized is I needed to go a step further, and I needed to put that optimism into what I thought about myself. I could do it for the outside world. I just didn't do it internally. The next one, the Optimist's creed, is to think only the best, to work only for the best, and to expect the best. And that can be hard because sometimes when things don't seem to be going right, it's easy to fall into that well of despair. But life seems to go better. Positive things seem to be drawn to you, and life feels good, and it's less illness, and you make better decisions when you try to keep yourself in that place of feeling good. His next one for the Optimist Creed is to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. I think that's really important because what I'm realizing is there's plenty available for everybody. So as long as we keep ourselves being positive and optimistic, we'll be moving forward, but at the same time, somebody else can be moving forward. And won't it be amazing when more of us are moving forward in a place of feeling good, enjoying life, and realizing and achieving things that are uplifting and feel good. The next one is part of the Optimist Creed: forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements in the future. We can get caught up in spinning downward and analyze, overanalyze, or just say, lesson learned, move on. Okay, where am I at? Move on. Okay, where am I at? Move on. The next one is to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. I just think it makes it easier. We have a lot of scowling faces these days, and if they're starting to draw you down in their energy, it might just be have a good day and move on. Don't get yourself caught up into that. That just means that they have some internal work they need to work on, and you just might not be. Your energy and your feel good just might be something that turns them the wrong way, and it might just be best to wish them well and move along, but don't join them in the well. The next one is give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. I thought that was a great one. And one that I want to live myself. I am enjoying the changes that are happening in my life. I am enjoying the hopefulness. And I am enjoying moving forward. Not exactly sure where I'm headed, but that's okay, knowing that I'll get there if I just keep moving forward. The next one, to be the Optimist Creed, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. I think that's an index card on its own. So again, these are just positive things, energies to hold on to, ways to move yourself forward. I think our lives do draw to us what we think about a lot. And I've done a lot of work because as much as I wished well for everybody else, I always saw weakness in myself. So I am working to be optimistic, hopeful, and encouraging to moving forward, not only for myself, but everybody around me. And if I find someone who is struggling and they're not ready to reach up, I wish them well, but I'm not going to join them anymore in the pit of despair, because then it just creates more of a negative environment, and it seems to create conflict. So the last one, I'm just going to say, he also included a little passage from a guy named John Wooden's, Making the Most of Oneself, or ourself personally. And what he said is, you need to be true to yourself. You need to make each day a masterpiece. You need to help others. You need to drink deeply from good books. You need to make friendship with a fine art. You need to build a shelter against a rainy day. And you need to pray for guidance and give thanks for your blessings each day. So I know this is a happy, looking forward thing, but I've truly found in my life in the past 2 years that I was giving that to other people, but I wasn't giving it to myself. And I feel better, and I am more optimistic, and I'm more hopeful because I'm looking forward. So I'm going to end this with the last of the Optimist's Creed. Remember that for life to get better, based on Tony Robbins, this is one of his 7 tips, that you want to live your days, that you're too large for worry, you're too noble for anger, you're too strong for fear, and you're too happy to permit the presence of trouble. I wish you the very, very best today, and enjoy this day, and look for the things to be happy about, and start to let yourself feel better every single day, and enjoy the gift of this life that God gave us. Thank you, and have a beautiful day.